I will always call him Cat Stevens. So sorry. Anyway, he's fantastic. So we're starting just a tiny bit early because we've got company. Okay, everybody, mind your manners. We have with us Safety Officer Paul Gaucher, and he's with Great Basin Team 5, and he's going to give you a brief update, I believe, and then let you know about what he does and they do. So take it away, Paul. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. I think this is a great service that you provide the community. People are always anxious for information, so thank you, and thank you for having me. Yeah, I do have a brief update regarding the fire. We're now at 61,159 acres and still 30% contained. So moving along with it, we got some weather coming in today that hopefully help us a little bit. So we're continually moving along.
Excellent. There's weather coming up. How's that going to affect? Can you speak to that? I know you're the safety officer, but
yeah, no, you betcha, because weather plays a big influence upon firefighting, as we all know. We'd rather have rain than not have rain, but with these thunderstorms that are predicted for today, there's going to be a lot of erratic winds with them. Forecasts call for anywhere from 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts. So we've done a lot of planning for that, but also some moisture, which will help the firefighters. Anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch is forecasted. They're to arrive later this afternoon. The downside is there's going to be some lightning with that. And so we've prepared for that. Hopefully we will not get any more new starts. But we have to be concerned about the firefighter safety too on these ridge tops and et cetera with the lightning coming in. And we've prepared for that, as we can talk about.
Okay. I'm sure that was lightning that woke me up this morning. It lit up the whole room.
Wow.
And it was still dark. It was just before 6 a.m. But I thought, oh boy, here it comes. Okay, so thank you for the update on the fire. Now, why don't you tell us about what you do as the safety officer?
Thank you. Yeah, all incident management teams now carry a full-time safety officer. We're dedicated to nothing but looking out for the firefighter safety. A lot of our other managers, including the people out on the fire line, are so focused on line construction, the tactics, and other factors that play into it. But we come in, and our sole responsibility is to assess the assignments being made to the firefighter and do complete risk assessments to make sure that we're focused in on safety so we can help the firefighter on each assignment accomplish their tasks safely.
Okay, so do they have, say, each team, they have a specific number of things they check off periodically, or what are we looking for? Just general overall safety?
No, thank you. That's a good question. We have a wide gamut of things, and we do have things that we do check off. We spend a lot of time with operations. In fact, the standing saying is that operations and safety are tied at the hip. So as operations comes up and develops the assignments of how we're going to suppress the fire and contain it, we're right there with them, and we're assessing the assignments that are being made and provide input to them. For example, for line construction, for example, you may have an inexperienced crew going into rough terrain. Is that really where you want to put some of the least experienced resources? Right. So we're kind of like the safety conscience for operations. We also assess travel routes. Is this the best way to get to where you want to go to accomplish your assignments? There may be a different way to come in. So we're out in the field gathering that type of information. Things like providing information on weather to these operation folks who are always dialed in as well, but at the same time that they appreciate our input and the fact that we are looking out for nothing but the safety of the firefighter.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we don't need to put them in danger. We need them to fight the fire.
There you go.
So I get it.
That's right.
Okay. I lost what I was going to ask you.
No, that's
It'll
fine.
come back to me.
I could go on a little bit more
Please.
exactly what we do. It's important, like I say, that we evaluate each assignment being made to the firefighter, but we also, risk management's really, really important. Is the assignment and the things that we're going to ask the firefighter to do, is it going to be worth the gain that we perhaps could make? So we always, what we do with the risk management is that we identify the hazards the firefighters get to face to complete the assignment, like the snags, the rough terrain, driving up and to and back from the fire line, things such as that. So
I'm sorry to interrupt you. What do you mean by snags?
oh, excuse me, hazardous trees. Some of them are dead, just barely hanging there, maybe from previous fires, or from other environmental causes. Even some of the green ones will have a shallow root system, and winds, they're very prone to winds and they could tip over. So we always have to be mindful of where those hazardous trees are at.
Sure.
And we can help the operations folks identify those, and then introduce mitigation measures to reduce that. We have professional fallers that we sometimes hire and come in, and that's where the locals, this area has a lot of professional
Right. Yeah, they
fallers.
do.
Yeah, and we appreciate their work, and they come in and they're able to safely fall those trees onto the ground and reduce that hazard for the firefighters. And then a lot of our firefighting crews also have sawyers, but not just anyone can operate a chainsaw.
Right.
We have a very extensive training program for all of our firefighters. And for those that are identified as fallers, they have to go through an extensive training program.
Good.
So anyway, we identify the hazards, and then we identify the mitigation measures. In other words, here's what we're going to do, here's the hazards we're going to face, and here's how we can mitigate some of those hazards so the work can be done safely. I will mention there are times that even after introducing those mitigation measures, that it's still not safe to accomplish. And our analysis will reveal that, and we simply pass that information on, and then we'll have to reassess it. A good example of that is really rough terrain, steep, gnarly country, where it's just not safe to put firefighters in. And sometimes we just had made the decision that, nope, that's too rough of a terrain. If someone gets hurt, it would be hard to extract them out of that area.
Right.
So we won't do it. So those are the type of things that we're looking at in completing that risk assessment to make sure, again, that the assignments given to the firefighters are carefully looked at, evaluated, and then that assessment completed to make a decision to go or no, to perhaps no go.
Right. So are there, again, like a number of criteria that you need to check off in order to pull a team or a person completely off of an assignment? So if you have 5 things on your list that you need to address safety-wise, and 3 of those things are dangerous, so maybe 2 of them you let them keep going, but at 3, you pull them off, or is there?
Again, that's a great question. And so with that, even 1, if it's really not safe, we'll do it. We're aware of the hazards, you betcha. We have that risk assessment with us, and we'll evaluate that. But sometimes it's just 1. A good example is today. We have some lightning forecasted. So everything else could be a go. Like the roads up there are pretty good roads. It's the country where some of the firefighters are going to fight, not too bad. And so it could be all a go, but then the lightning shows up. And that would be a hazard.
A deal breaker?
Yeah, that would be,
Okay.
that's a good word for it, Sandra, a deal breaker. That would be enough to pull the firefighters off.
Okay.
And because, Team 5 does take safety seriously. I mean, we all know that the most important thing is a human life.
Of course.
And we always hear that safety is the priority. But to us, I like to say it's more than just words on paper. We're talking about someone's husband or wife, father or mother, aunt or uncle, son or daughter, and so Boy, it's just not words on paper. We really do take safety seriously on Great Basin Team 5, as do most management teams.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the most important thing.
Right. Well, nobody should go to work and risk their life. I mean, and you guys do day to day, but yeah, not overly so. My goodness. So, how many people in your assist you with your safety officer duties?
Thank you. Each team carries anywhere from 2 to 3 full-time safety officers with the team. In addition to that, we also order up what we call line safety officers who are out there on the fire line with the fire, and the fire managers, the division group supervisor out there on the line, and they spend their time working with the firefighters, again, focused in on nothing but safety, and spend a lot of time talking to the managers who are out there on the ground. So to answer your question, we carry, like I say, 2 to 3 full-time team safety officers, but we try to place a line safety on each geographical area, our divisions, as we break that geographical area up.
And I imagine by working closely with these people and these teams that they learn a lot, and they learn to identify their own safety issues and risks as well.
Very
right?
much so, very much so. And that's a good point, Sandra, because training plays into it. We have to me, I've been doing this for over 35 years, around 35 years. I think the Forest Service, the BLM, and other federal and state and local fire agencies who participate are probably the highest trained firefighters in the world. I've worked with firefighters from Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, different areas, and sure, they're very conscientious of safety too. But as far as training, we have the best trained firefighters in the world. I really believe that.
Well, I'm sure you do, and I hope so. It seems like there would be more to consider in a wildfire than there would be, say, for a structural fire. And I'm not minimizing firefighters who fight structural fires. I'm just saying that it gets a little more weird or complicated when you're out against Mother Nature.
The outside elements play a big part of it. And we do have quite a few structure firefighters on this incident, as you probably know, protecting the homes and other structures. And we're all in it together. It's quite amazing how we can all come together, regardless of what agency, our backgrounds. We all wear yellow, is what we say.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's great. It takes a group effort.
Well, it's good to have a common goal of not perishing today. So, and I guess one of my final questions now, do you meet with everyone before they go, or each team, say, before they go to their assignment? You have like a tailgate meeting, or are you more on the site addressing issues?
Good question. We have morning briefings every morning with the leaders of the crews and other folks who are in charge of the incident, and they get key information. They get a good weather update. Fire behavior speaks, and then operations talks about the assignments. Air operations tells us about the helicopters, how many are available, how they're going to be used. And then safety takes some time and presents a safety message. So we have that, and the IC, of course, it takes some time at that morning briefing too, to give them the information they need for the day. And then a lot of crews do have additional tailgate session meetings out there on the ground in the field, where they're closer to where they're going to be working, and they focus a little bit more on the hazards that they're specifically going to encounter that day at that location.
Okay, actual hazards.
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
That's right.
All right. Well, good. I hope everybody's paying attention and being safe out there. Last question for me. Is there standard gear, other than uniforms, of course, like earplugs, safety goggles that people have to have with them, and if they don't, you write them up or something?
We don't write them up, but we do provide that personal protective equipment. And some of the standard issuance of that is a hard hat. Branches come down.
Sure.
People are always bumping their heads if they're working around the engines and etc. a hard hat, goggles if they're using chainsaws to keep debris out of the eyes. Earplugs is a big thing. Yeah, we're around a lot of pumps, around a lot of chainsaws. And then the clothing, of course. And then if we're operating a chainsaw, we wear what we call chainsaw chaps that'll prevent the moving chains should your leg come in contact with it. It's full of wire and other material that's intended to stop the chain before it actually hits the skin.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, preventative.
And then the boots
Mhm.
and et cetera, the gloves.
So they have to have steel toe. They have to, I imagine, yeah?
Actually, we discourage steel toe because of the heat.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah, we've
See,
actually.
you don't think of these things.
Yeah.
I don't think of these things.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes me a lay person, right?
No, it's all,
Oh, okay.
it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, we do provide that what we call the PPE, the protective equipment.
Okay, good. I know my husband worked on the airfield in the military many years ago, and he was like 19 and thought he didn't need his earplugs, and now he can't hear a darn thing. So, so thanks a lot. But are they made to use their safety equipment, or is it just encouraged?
No, we do require that they wear that and have it. It's simply more, yeah. We require them to wear it
Good.
when they're engaged in such activities.
Okay.
And I also forgot to mention that part of that PPE is also a fire shelter. Every firefighter wears a fire shelter.
Can you describe that?
Yeah, what it is, it's a, some people call them little pup tents. They're folded up and we wear them on our hips. And then if we ever get in a situation, hopefully we won't, but in a situation where we have a fire coming at us and the escape routes probably maybe we're not able to escape the coming fire, we can actually deploy these little kind of like pup tents that a firefighter can fit into. A lot of technology has gone into them. They actually save lives. We still have a way to go with that, but that's another issue, and that's one more item that we require firefighters to wear.
Boy, when you were describing that, it made my heart race. I'm like, oh, get out, just run.
We
Oh
do all
my
that we
gosh.
can before we get to that point. But since we were talking about PPE,
Yeah,
that's
you got to prepare for worst case.
yeah,
Of course.
you really do.
Yeah,
You really do.
Well, it sounds very involved, but if you work closely with for much longer, somebody's gonna challenge you for your job.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
we got this. Thanks, Paul.
yeah, that's right. No, firefighters are very acceptable to safety officers. We used to be kind of viewed as cops. Oh
Sure.
no, here comes the safety officer.
Right.
Put
Yep.
those gloves on. But now anymore, the culture really has changed. And it's so impressive. The younger firefighters, and most of them, it's kind of like, oh, safety, you're here now. Thanks. Here's what we have. What do you? Have you got any ideas of how maybe we can accomplish this? And so everyone works together, and that people are very acceptable and welcome the safety officer being close to them.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I'd be nice to the safety officer.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you.
Okay.
That's great.
All right. Anything in closing you think we should know?
No, we're glad to be here. We really are.
We're glad you're here.
Well, I tell you, I've been doing this for quite a while. Civil service and serving the communities in the country, if I may say, is very satisfying. So we appreciate the warmth and the hospitality that we've received. People come up to us and thank us, and that means a lot to us. But we're glad to be here and serve the community.
Well, we certainly appreciate it, and all of the meetings too, the regular meetings, keeping everybody informed. I feel a lot safer. I hope I'm not getting complacent, but especially on this 9/11, it was thank a firefighter, thank an emergency responder, and you got to fall right into that too. So
There you go.
yes, never forget.
Yep.
All righty. Well, now where are you off to?
Well, I'm going to go back. We're watching this lightning today, and so I'm going to be spending a lot of time with our incident meteorologist who has equipment, the radar, that will advise us of incoming thunderstorms and lightning. And I'll be working with them today to make sure we get word out to the firefighters if we see a cell thunderstorm or lightning coming our way, we can give them plenty of notice.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
you better get going, huh? You got
We're
stuff
good.
to do.
I've got good help back there, but
Thank you so much for coming, and it was very interesting. I'm learning a lot. I thought I knew everything, but no, turns out no, I don't. Thanks again for being here.
You're
and
welcome.
Stay safe and have a great day.
thank you very much.
Thank you.